I would love to, but it's just impossible. I hear this word all the time. I hear it all the time out in the world. It's impossible. I can't. I'd love to. It's just impossible. And I hear it so much out into the world, but I hear it less and less with the people I'm coaching, with the people I'm working with. You see, because they're starting to understand the truth of the word impossible. See, impossible is a big word, and I don't think we really understand how big of a word it is and how often we use it. Impossible is a word that has a dramatic power to negatively influence our lives. So my question to you today is your impossible a fact? Or is it a story that you just keep telling yourself? What do we mean when we say something's impossible? Now, I'd have you consider today that it's a word that we've learned to grossly misuse as time goes on. We send way too much of our dreams, way too much of our goals, way too much of our visions to that proverbial impossible bucket without ever testing the validity of really how impossible or possible it actually is. Once we throw something in that proverbial impossible bucket in our minds, we send that dream, that goal, that life we desire to a place that our mind can never go. We send that dream and that goal to a place we can never figure out how to get to. And because we have a habit of doing this all the time, we really, in a sense, are condemning ourselves to live the same old life day after day, year after year. This is how we wake up in a cold sweat in the middle of the night, having a midlife crisis going, where the hell did my life go? It's kind of like that movie, if you've ever seen it, I hope you've seen it, Groundhog Day with Bill Murray. But see, Bill Murray learned the lesson as he was going through the same day over and over. What we tend to do, the easy path, is we never learn that lesson because we send way too much to that proverbial impossible bucket of our minds. We indulge ourselves in the same old fears, the same old patterns, the same old limiting beliefs because we're too scared to try anything new with our lives. Because we're afraid of stretching ourselves into the life that we really desire. All because we say it's impossible. All those dreams we have, we say it's impossible. Traveling the world, we say it's impossible. I used to want to travel the world and it was only a dream in my mind. I would always say that's just impossible. Now I'm doing it. Starting that dream business you've been thinking of your whole life, we say it's impossible. And we do it and we say impossible without ever testing how possible it actually is. But my question, really, I want to ask you, are these dreams and visions for your life, is it really impossible? Or is it just kind of a story you keep telling yourself? And maybe even a bit of laziness that's getting in the way. So I want to play a game today. Let's just assume all the dreams you have, that great big vision of traveling the world, writing the next great American novel, starting that dream business of yours. Let's just play a game. Let's just assume it's impossible. Okay? I don't care. Fine, it's impossible. I believe you. But I want to ask you a question. Let's play it. Let's have some fun. I know it's impossible. But if it were possible, if it were, just playing around, how would it be possible? And when I asked this question in a coaching setting with a new client on our first call, this is one of my favorite parts about coaching, when two minds come together in a creative space that holds nothing as impossible. That says, let's try, let's see what's possible. Let's see how this is possible. Let's create a more powerful attitude. Instead of just automatically throwing things in that impossible bucket of our minds where our mind can never go, let's test how possible this is. Let's have some fun. Let's play a game. My question is never, is it possible? My question is, how is it possible? Now that's infinitely more fun and infinitely more powerful. It's all about setting aside that unfounded fear. It's all about setting aside those limiting beliefs that have been burdened upon you. It's all about setting all of that aside, having some fun, and discovering what you're truly capable of. Discovering a path to your dreams, to your vision for your life, to that business that you've always wanted to start. It's all about doing it in a playful way, discovering not if you can travel the world, because if you ask yourself a question like that, you're going to automatically say, no, I can't. You want a more powerful attitude. Test your impossible. Ask, how can I travel the world? How can I write that next great American novel? How can I start this next extraordinary business in my life? How? How can I? See, when you set aside those limiting beliefs, when you set aside that fear, and when you have a little bit of fun with it, what once seemed impossible in your mind, now all of a sudden kind of seems a bit possible. You start to see a clearer path. And this is what happens when you have an open mind, especially when you're collaborating with somebody in a very proactive, fun, and engaged way, to discover a way how you can move forward towards your dreams. This is what I love about coaching. This is my favorite part about coaching. When I work with people and they say, people come to me and they say, I want this, Travis. Like, I really do, but let's be honest. And it's impossible. I'll never have that. And I always laugh because I know the truth. I've seen it in my own life. I've tested impossible more than you can even imagine. But I do that with the people I work with as well. And I go, okay, yeah, it's impossible. I believe you. Let's just have some fun. Let's see how possible this is. If it were possible, what would you do? What would the path look like? What would the first step look like? And what really lights me up is when I'm working with people and their mind starts to open and go, oh my God, it's not only probable, it's very much doable. It's something I can see myself doing and living, actually, now that I have a plan. I've worked with so many people all over the world, and this happens all the time. Right now, I'm sure that you're sitting way too much to that impossible part of your mind. What's your impossible? What do you dream of? What's your vision? What do you spend your day daydreaming about? Like I used to spend all day dreaming about having a successful coaching business and traveling the world. And now I'm doing it. That was my impossible. But one step at a time, and through a creative space, and through having a bit of imagination and a bit of fun, I created what was once thought as impossible. See, the problem is we go through the world and we accept so many things that are so important to us as impossible before we even understand how possible it is. You'd be amazed at some of the dreams that I've seen and the dreams that I've had for my life. And you'd be amazed at the emails I get to this day with clients that I've worked with 3, 4, 5 years ago that say, I'm traveling the world now, shooting tribes in the middle of the Amazon. That was a dream. I started my own yoga business. My coaching career took off. I quit my job. All these things that were once thought of as impossible are now possible. So what's your impossible? And if it were possible to live that dream, what would be your first step? Everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, if you got something out of it, if you felt inspired, uplifted, or if you're going to take your first step towards impossible, share this with your friends, give it a like, subscribe to my channel, hit that subscribe button right there, and my website is right there. You guys, onwards and upwards, much love. Be good, be awesome, be great.